Looks like the fight for freedom over tyranny is not over, y'all. Injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere. You've probably heard that quote from Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Well, just broke in Melbourne, Australia today, or yesterday, their time, whatever the case, a woman by the name of Zoe Lee was organizing a peaceful protest on the 5th of September. Remember the 5th of September, Freedom Day, I believe, out there. I'm not too sure. In any case, she put a post to try to organize with like-minded individuals, friends, family, who were against the human rights violations that have been occurring over the course of the lockdown over there. Similar to what's been happening all over the world, where the government have been trampling over your right to peacefully assemble anywhere, your right to work and or earn a living, deciding which businesses can remain open and which ones must be forced to close, and in many cases destroying them forever. So Zoe put up a post saying we need to stand up for our rights, let our voices be heard, but this is going to remain a peaceful protest or sit in, and this is what happens.
Murphy.
At 3 o'clock this afternoon, 4 detectives storm into a home.
Now you're under arrest in relation to incitement.
Incitement?
A young mother, still in her pajamas, is cuffed.
What on earth? Excuse me, what on earth?
Slapped with a search warrant in front of her partner and young children.
Ultrasound in an hour?
Yeah, she's pregnant.
But Ballarat detectives were determined to question Zoe Bueller after the 28-year-old allegedly created this Freedom Day Facebook event, asking her friends to remember the 5th of September.
I wasn't breaking any laws by doing
You
that.
are breaking the law. That's why I'm arresting you. Take her to take the post down, like, come on.
I'm happy to delete the post. This is ridiculous.
Any device in this house we're taking.
This is ridiculous.
You're not taking my phone. I'm taking any device. That's my phone. It's nothing to do with her. It's my phone.
Yesterday, 2 men accused of planning the Melbourne event were arrested. The RSL slamming the tens of thousands of protesters expected to gather at the Shrine of Remembrance.
You might have thought that tyranny like that was over, but it's not. I mean, you may remember this incident also happened back in, I believe, April in Australia. Similar situation of a young mother with her 5 or 6-year-old kid peacefully protesting, not really around any major crowd. And they do this.
You guys took an oath. You took an oath under the constitutional law to defend the public. You're not doing that. You know, I don't know how you guys can go home and honour tonight and try and infringe me with the notice which I don't consent to, because we're doing nothing wrong. You guys should be here holding the signs with us, defending us. So I don't consent to what you're doing. Okay? I don't consent. We're acting safely. We're not acting in aggression. So I do not consent to giving my name. My name to you. Exactly. Am I under arrest? Am I being detained here? No, I'm fine. Okay, thank you. Thank you.
Give me the key, please. We'll feel safer with you. Can I just have the key? Give the key to somebody, please.
Talk about a trampling over freedom, basic human rights to express yourself and to also peacefully assemble. I don't know the Australian Constitution as well as I do the American, but I know enough that they do have the freedom of speech, freedom of assembly. Yes, I am aware of a provision that does state that the freedom of assembly can be restricted when it's a case of public health. But do we not remember this event that happened in Australia in the name of Black Lives Matter just this past June, I believe?
G'day everybody, you know that we've won the appeal and that this march is authorised. It's authorised. Power to the people! Power to the people! Sometimes when we come together, we beat this system. We need to beat the system that is causing this oppression to Black lives, not just today, but for all future generations. But today we beat the system. Stand proud, stand together.
What looks like thousands gathered for Black Lives Matter. I don't see a single cop making any major arrests. And if you overheard the announcement made by one of the protesters there, you saw that it was made legal. It was their gathering, their assembly was authorized. So how can you make the case that these restrictions of assembly are for public health when they're against the lockdowns themselves, only to come and turn around and say, well, it's okay to organize for Black Lives Matter? I mean, does COVID-19 suddenly disappear when it seizes for BLM? Oh my God, Black Lives Matter. They're our kryptonite. This is a clear violation of human rights, the right to freedom of speech and freedom of expression, the right to peacefully assemble. And if you do not fight for your rights, fight for what it is you love today, you will mourn for what you lost. So we just need to be aware of what's going on around the world and realize what's at stake right now in this point in time in humanity. We are fighting a war against tyranny, against authoritarianism, against totalitarianism. We're fighting a war against propaganda. It's no longer about conservative or liberal, Democrat versus Republican. This is happening on a global scale across the world and can come to a neighborhood near you. So we just need to keep the fight alive, let the truth be told, and report what's going on and be willing to stand up for our rights. All right, so that's the video. Let me know what you think in the comment section. And as always, please like and or subscribe if you like what you hear, and to support the content and alternative news, because we need to keep the revolution going, all right? Because the world is waking up and we need to help shine a light so that everyone can see and follow and take lead. So again, like and or subscribe, and I shall talk to y'all later. Viva la revolution!